Good evening, everybody, and welcome from the parts unknown, known as the Clem and Claw Show. Your boy Clement is in a new location for now. I am not in Oklahoma anymore. I am in Texas, actually, Aubrey, Texas, which is an hour north of Dallas. So, with that being said, other than that, I've been here for about a week. So, other than that, there's nothing new going on at all.
So,
We can talk about
how,
college football and all that stuff, but that's later. But that's irrelevant.
how do you enjoy being in Texas on being on the other side of the state line?
It took me a minute to get used to it because I've been in the state of Oklahoma for so many years. Like
Mm,
my whole life is over there. So I'm trying to get adjusted to this. So like I said, it's only been a week. So we'll see.
okay.
But Texas is good so far. Texas is much busier than Oklahoma. Much. Way busier than Oklahoma right now.
Right.
More traffic. More traffic as usual. You knew that. I knew that already. More impatience. These people have no patience at all in this state. Just saying that now.
Right. Right. You
This is
still
not bad
boomer
though.
soon. You still a boomer sooner. You ain't gonna switch over to me.
100%. Nothing has changed.
Yeah. Right.
Nothing has changed,
You ain't
man.
gonna. Yeah. Just don't do
Nothing
like that
has.
one. Just don't do like that one girl did. She
Which was
she did the horns down sign and she was standing next to a longhorn and the longhorn hit her on the back of the head with one of his um horns. Yeah.
oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing
I
that.
was like, why would you do that? Stand in
I'm
front of
not
the
gonna do
longhorn
that.
and think you were gonna
I'm
get
not gonna
away?
do that. The long the horn symbol is only gonna go when I go into the Cotton Bowl next year for that game.
Yeah.
That's the only time I'm using that symbol. I'm not stupid to do that around them.
Yeah.
Nah,
The
I don't need to be hit
actual
upside the head.
animal
Back my head and caught
the
them.
animal knew is just like I'm not taking this disrespect. The animal
Nor
knew.
should they take disrespect, right? Nor should they take disrespect. We can
Yeah.
talk about Texas later. We know they're in the championship. I mean, playoffs. We can talk about that on sideboard. I'm not even worried about all that.
All right. And we can talk about my beloved Pacers losing NBA in season tournament. We can talk about that on the sideboard too. I'm disappointed,
Your
but it
Pacers
was a great
especially did
one.
well, man. You have nothing
Hmm.
to hang your heads about. You do understand that you were playing the Lakers. You knew you were playing a star-studded Laker team. You
The,
have no big man up Anthony Davis. You knew that was going to happen.
no, the issue I had was the narrative of if the Pacers would have won, then it would have never been about the Pacers winning. Oh, LeBron James lost the time. It's like, look, dude. At the end of the day, it's like there was another team playing too. Some respect
True.
for Tyrese Halliburton name. It just they lead the league in 3 point shots, and of course, as the
True.
old adage, you live by the three, die by the three, and the shots didn't fall. So, but anyway, that's not what our esteemed fans have come here to watch us to banter about NBA basketball, not today. But we have a
Yeah.
special
Go
guest
ahead.
coming in top of the hour. So, like I said, we won't be before you long because looking at old business, new business, there ain't really much business. Um,
There is no business.
I
None.
just, we just know
None.
that make it. I guess just to kind of run through it, you got sweet fights. He put out a model call for
Yep.
anybody in the Miami area, December 22nd. Go to at Sweet Fights on Instagram,
I
and you
think it's doing
can.
two. I think it's doing. Is it 2,000? I saw. I thought I saw 2,000. Something like that.
I,
He's throwing out some crazy money.
I don't get into all that because I let him
I
decide
don't
with the
either. I'm just
model.
saying. I'm just
But I
saying. I
just know
saw
the
that.
dates. I'm going with
You
the
know the
dates,
dates. I don't know the dates. At least you
and
know it.
then
I
the
don't know nothing.
contact, and then let them negotiate that. So
We do know one thing. One thing we know for a fact: if you fight for sweet fight, you at least getting $1,000 at least, just to
yeah,
start at least. That includes the hotel accommodations and everything. I mean, we're not even talking about the hotel accommodations and flying in part. We're just talking about just fighting
well, I mean,
in
the
general.
thing is, if he's doing this in Miami, then I'm thinking he's going to Miami to shoot.
He
So,
has to go to Miami. You don't just put out like you said a casting call and not go down there.
but what I'm saying is, when you talk about, so I wouldn't think he would be flying anybody in if you're going to Miami, if you're going
I
where
don't think
talent
so.
is.
I think
And,
so.
and best believe there's enough talent in Miami. He won't have to go far. He won't have to go far
You
at all.
think? I know quite a
He's
few
just gonna
people.
throw a
I know
rock.
quite a few people.
He can
Right?
throw a
You
rock.
and me both know quite a few people in Florida. We know
So
this.
we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I know Catfight Phenom has been making the rounds with clips with
Yes, she
various
is.
opponents of
Yes, she
size
is.
and skill.
Facts.
We'll see how it turns out. Um,
I agree with you.
I know it's kind of funny. I know
Go ahead.
I find this a funny exercise
I
from the
do too now.
standpoint of you keep releasing these clips when you haven't released the full video yet, and you have all these folks
Facts.
asking for video, video, video. The
I
thing
wanted
that
them.
I find, are you one of them?
Yeah, I want to see it. Don't
Uh,
just don't. You know how do I put this? Right. I don't have a problem if I don't have a problem with you showing clips, but there comes a point you've been teasing us about this for about a year, it's like almost a year and a half. It's not like this is not no
Obviously, there's something to it. Building up the
clearly,
buzz, which is
clearly.
good marketing, which I'm not mad at. The
I'm not
the
either.
thing that I will say is, and this is why I'm not mad, because even though I'm like, yeah, we want to see your fullness, does she have stamina? Does she have, all this other stuff? But as
Hmm.
I sit back and think about it, I'm looking at the comments of the people who is making the most noise. These are folks we've never seen in the sponsors room. We
Bingo.
never seen them like when it comes to push and shove. Not saying that
Yep.
they don't buy it. The vast majority of the people who are asking for it are people we've never seen. We haven't seen you. So it's kind of like
Exactly.
then now if it was more, let's say like Adrian Scottsdale, Adam, you,
Yep.
me, Nuke
Mike.
Swag,
New
right?
swag.
If it was all of us, Rodolfo, if it was all of us
Rodolfo.
banging down the door and
Different.
saying, "Hey, you need to release it," then that's a different story. But when
True.
I'm seeing some of these folks, I'm like, we ain't seen, and you look at their Twitter X handle,
Who?
you're like,
You're not the only one. I'm
fight,
like, who?
fight guy 098676666787. Dude, we don't know you. We ain't never seen you. Oh, you just joined this month, and we ain't never seen you. You done 3 tweets, and we ain't never seen.
First of all, how my question is, how the heck did y'all even get my Twitter handle? Some of y'all, some of these people, like you said, that have no pictures, no nothing. Man, you're automatic block. I'm sorry, I don't play that game, man. You're an
So,
automatic block. If I haven't seen you, I don't know of you. Move on. I don't care if you're a cat fight or anything. I just keep that a bug, man. It don't
right.
matter if I right. We if you know me, then cool, right? If I know you, cool. But other than that, I talk about when it goes to the followers list, and I block more people than I accept.
Mm.
That's just my motto. It's
So
me.
it's just a matter of we ain't seen you. So we ain't seen you in these streets. So here it
I love it.
is. Now they go release something. Y'all best be.
Now you will show up.
I put no. I'm saying if you do, because you can't monetize likes. That's not a monetization.
Yeah,
There's not monetization in that, because just because, like, case in point, you have a couple, especially the newfound singers, they'll think,
yep.
oh, I got you know 2.7 million fans. Well, you got
Okay.
fans and followers. They're not translating the butts in the seat when they show up at the city, and you can't
Bingo.
sell out a 3,000 seat arena.
Correct.
You see what I'm
Correct.
saying? It's not the same thing. So with this, Catfight Phenom better be, whenever she drops her first one, she best be the best selling debut cat fighter of all time, because
I
they
agree.
built it, like you said. It's been a year and a half, almost a year and a half. They've been teasing, so
Yep.
they've been dropping stuff and 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 dropping stuff.
Y'all better
And
be good.
at some point, you know, it's you got to be able to. So the build up, which is good, which is a good strategy. We hadn't seen that
Nothing
much
wrong
in
with the
this
builder.
industry.
I agree with you. Nothing wrong with the builder, but like you said, you better when you drop all this stuff, it better be good. Otherwise, we'll be looking y'all sideways. I'm talking about us people who have
Well,
been
I
in.
mean, if it's
So
competitive, then you know
yeah,
how it is. You can. There's so many elements of this you can't control. There's so
true.
many elements, but it's just a matter of. It's just that, at least if their whole thing was, we want to build up enough excitement, so now once we release something, people will come, then so
Cool.
be it. Versus how most of us have done it, which is we go, we set up our site, we take our first video, we put it out there. and then it takes time for it to gain traction because people don't even know we're out here yet. So whereas now they've had a good year and a half to see, all right, you got the masses to the point to where
Yep.
it's to the point now you're ready to explode, and it's like, all right, cool, let's go ahead and just drop it off, and then now people just come flocking to the masses.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so at that point, maybe it should be at a point to where it kicks in. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Give me a minute. I'll be back. Give me a minute.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a small break, and we will be back. Man, yeah, it's just me right now. Yeah, so we're gonna take a small break. I will be back in a second. I did a small break since.
All right. I'm back.
Yep.
That'll work. That'll work. That's fine. Is there anything else we want to talk about before this get our guest comes
Um.
on?
No, I don't have
We
it.
gonna
I
make
don't
some.
have anything else other than the fact that we know
All
that
right. Nothing else to say.
um I know that we got the next episode. Well, I guess we can talk about this now, so we can kind of get it out the way. Other
You want to talk
household
about
things.
it now? Okay.
Well, the fact that we got Christmas. Christmas is will be
Monday.
technically the next episode,
Yep.
Monday after next. We still haven't really nailed down what we're going to do. I think will do something, but
We
I
will
don't
do
think
something.
yeah, we'll do something for you guys. We just still
Yep.
bending about how we're going to do it. Um,
Yep.
but the one thing I do not want to do, and I personally have never been a fan of the whole best of. Oh, let's do a best of episode and then just throw something together. Nah.
Nah.
If you don't
Nah.
have nothing new or nothing original, now I don't mind best of or recap episodes if you're going to have either fresh new commentary with it or it's going to be kind of like retrospective. It's like us watching one of our episodes where we talk about maybe something cataclysmic that happened, and now with the advance of hindsight, we can now look back and say, hey, um, oh wow, that would have been so cool to have. Oh, and to Mike,
Yep.
what's up? He's sent a tweet talking about what's up, peeps. Yeah,
What's up,
so
Mike?
yeah,
How
so
are you, man?
we thank you for being
No swag. You
supportive.
haven't missed anything. Nothing's happening at all. You haven't missed anything. Nothing's happening.
Yeah, so
Good. To see, good to see, good to hear from you, though, Bo. Though.
yes, sir. But the only other thing I noticed out there is that Reagan dropped the fight. Her and Karma, they were supposed to be doing some kind of Mortal Kombat like cosplay fight
Yeah.
thing.
This Mortal Kombat thing. It
I don't
doesn't.
know.
What's the word? Nah. It doesn't hold my attention. I'm not gonna lie to you. It doesn't. It doesn't enthuse me at all.
Yeah,
Just
I,
speaking my own self.
I if it was them doing a competitive fight, but them as being the characters, I
Okay.
think then you can hold my attention. Like if they're actually now, granted, I know some of this stuff is gonna be kind of hard to pull off because they do like fireballs and electric shocks and all that. So I don't know how you pull that off, But if there was a way to where, even if it was a depowered version of them, but if they're wearing the outfits and they're actually like fighting for real as if they would be, which to me kind of borders on, you know, on a real fight, you'll have ground fighting and all that, whereas a lot of the street fight and, all that kind of stuff is just knocking folks down, it just,
Yep.
like, you let them get back up. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Real fight, you're not going to do that. So, um, yeah, so like I said, it looked like a fun video or something. I was more of a Killer Instinct guy. That was me.
Yep.
Um, so I didn't play fighting games much growing up because I was not good at them at all. I
I
lost.
was.
I couldn't figure out how to hit the button combinations right. Up, up, down,
I
down,
hear you. I hear you.
left, right, left, right. That was just not my forte. Um, so I'm not gonna sit up here and try to make it more than what it was. But
I agree.
yep. But trying to see what this Monday night game. Oh, okay. So Titans.
Actually, there's two
Okay.
Monday night games, boss. It's the
Yeah.
Packers and Giants, and the Dolphins and the Tech and the Titans.
Titans.
Last I saw, they're all 7-7 games. Both of those.
Well, the Titans is up 10-7 on
The
Miami.
Dolphins.
So we'll see how this goes because I got
Monday night
Miami.
football.
I got.
Yeah. I'm not trying to
I,
hit on Miami. I'm not trying to hit on NFL, but this doubleheader on Monday, doubleheader stuff.
I don't mind the
No,
doubleheader. I don't mind the doubleheader if it was staggered.
this was not staggered. They played at the same time
Correct.
on different channels.
Correct. But if it was staggered like they do the first week of the season, like one is
Yeah,
like at 5:15, 5:30, and the second one started at 8:15. And they
yeah,
did it like that where it's staggered, where it overlaps, so that way if the game is a blowout, you're not sitting up there. Yeah.
right. I think
Yeah.
the Giants and the Packers were 7-7. Well, they started second half. I think both these games started at the same, almost at the same time. I think the Dolphins started first by a
Yeah, they
few
both had
minutes.
8:15 kicks.
Yeah,
They both had 8:15 kicks.
gotcha.
Yeah, so um my senator talking about you need to have Reagan on the show. Um she has an open door whenever she wants to show up. So um she's one of the few. I would say Reagan and Tilly are the
Yep,
two. They have
they will pop
lifetime pass.
open
They could just pop up
whenever
whenever
they
they
want.
feel, wherever they feel like it. It's just
Here's the
those
thing,
two.
Mike. Yeah, here's the thing, Mike. We're not going to push for them to actually show up. They can show up. They can show up
Whenever they want, don't matter.
whenever.
They
All
have
they gotta do
master
is all they
keys.
gotta do is communicate to Kaiser, to you or myself. That's all they gotta do. We
They
ain't hard to find.
they don't even like Coach Fire. Ain't hard to find.
Well, you they have to communicate to you, mainly you.
But dude, they have master keys, so they can show up, like
True.
literally show up, just pop up in the back. Like they could be watching the show and decide, hey, I want to jump in. Boom,
Yep.
pop up in the back. They have master keys, so they can show up whenever they want.
And by the way,
Yeah,
people, we don't give it this just to any guest. They've been here
right.
multiple times.
Right.
That's why.
Once you cross three, you're eligible to get master keys. So you
And
know,
they've been here
still
three
by
times. So
discretion. They each have
by
been here at
discretion.
least 3 times. So
Yep.
they get master keys. So um, still waiting on a guest. I don't know if the guest is having connection issues or anything. I'm seeing nothing yet. So I'm hoping. The only thing which I fear, and this is something I try to spell it out in hard caps.
Go
The
ahead.
time zone.
Correct. Where's she at? Anybody know? I know.
I
I know that I'm in the
I
central
know
time
she's
zone.
I know she's originally from the Bayou. So
Okay.
it's like I
That's
try to
my time
do
zone.
correct,
Louisiana's in my time zone with
correct.
Arkansas and Texas and Oklahoma. Yeah, we're all in the central time
Half
zone.
of Tennessee, half of
Yeah,
part of Kentucky.
yeah,
Yeah, it cuts at the
correct.
Alabama Georgia state line. Thank God. Um,
Alabama, Georgia state lines east, I think. Yeah,
The
that's
Georgia
what time
side is
zone.
east, the Alabama side is central. So they didn't cut
Okay.
it through that part. So thank God.
All right. Cool. All right.
Um,
Cool.
but we'll see. It's just I really wouldn't be smart. We may have to do it. Who was that we did where we had to split it and we had to come back and do it? Was that Vika? I think that
Yes,
was Vika. We had to
it
come
was
back and
Vika.
split because of the time split. See, like yeah. So it's happened before, and the problem and the reason why it is because the thing about our ladies is these ladies they're traveling all over the place because if
Yep.
I try to make the assumption oh they're going to be home they may be out traveling and so now the time that it's just a wreck so I put wherever the time of the show is and then from
Yep.
there they know what everything is and we're running everything off of Eastern um
I agree with you.
so we promote it as Eastern everything we do is Eastern. That's why I always
As
try
it
to
should
put the
be.
time zone in all caps. Either EST or I spell out the word Eastern.
I agree with
So
you.
I wish on some of the stuff I could color code it and have it
True.
flaming or fire around it. So that way, hey,
True.
if this is not your time zone.
Uh
Yeah.
huh.
So
I
I
hear
wouldn't be
you.
surprised. So ladies and gentlemen, I mean at this point, unless we start talking about other stuff, this might be a two-parter. Cause I wouldn't be surprised because by this usually by now, once we hit about 10, 15 after, if they had made it, we nothing is a hard right. It's like, yeah, it's time zone. That's different. Usually more often than not. I remember we had
Yep.
one incident where with somebody there was a storm, like a really bad storm, and they just
Yep.
could not connect on. Like they had no power, no nothing, and the iPad was like the only thing that they had,
Yep.
and for like 40 minutes.
Yep.
I guess
I
while
forget
we're
what
trying to
incident. Yes.
kill some time, your thoughts on have we talked since the playoffs set was set
Yeah,
up?
we talked 2 days ago. You were telling me about if what's name get to the playoffs and what's name get to the playoffs, you're trying to decide or they're trying to decide where they're gonna send you and all that stuff.
No, that was
We talked about
NFL.
this.
I'm talking no, that was NFL. I'm talking about college.
Oh, we haven't talked much about college football. You want to talk about the controversy that was the college football playoffs committee,
To,
supposedly?
to me, it wasn't no controversy at all. It was just um, it- we've seen this happen. We've seen TCU drop
Yeah, no.
when was it Iowa State maybe or somebody. They went 55-3. They get
Yeah, that was
dropped
Iowa
from
State.
3-5 or three to
That was
six,
Iowa State. Yep.
and then you had just because Ohio State with a third string quarterback shut out was it Iowa? I think they shut out Iowa or something, or Minnesota or
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Wisconsin 53 to
Wisconsin.
nothing, you know.
Yep.
And then you had Gary Patterson say, "Well, maybe we didn't allow the field goal. We might could have held on." And TCU got kicked out, you know.
Yep. Man, we all know why they're doing it. We all know why they're doing it because let's be serious. ESPN is SEC related. You know that they can't have no SEC team left out in the playoffs. Let's be serious. Let's not kid ourselves. Because if you're Florida State, is what can you actually do, right? It's unfortunate your quarterback got hurt at the end of the season. You did what you're supposed to do. You're a conference champion. You're 13-0. You won your conference championship. What else can you possibly do? And all these
Dude,
fake people coming up with all this fake crying. Oh, we feel so bad for Florida State. No, ESPN, you don't feel so bad for Florida State. You just happy that Alabama is one of your boys and they got in. Be serious. Don't play with us. We all know the committee wanted Alabama because Alabama and Michigan is a better game than Michigan versus Florida State. Let's be serious. You saw Michigan's faces when they knew they had to play Alabama. You think they were happy about that? Hell
they
no.
was not happy. But then again, would it be Kismet? You know, with all the controversy surrounding Michigan, and some
That's
people
true.
want to discredit how they got here.
That's a good one.
Best believe. All right, fine. You're gonna have to earn this the hard way. You get Alabama. We ain't gonna make
True.
this easy for you. No,
True.
you get
True.
Alabama.
So yeah, in Michigan State's
Harbaugh,
and I mean, in Michigan State's, I don't feel sorry for y'all. Y'all trying to
Harbaugh.
be cheating and everything. I don't feel sorry for y'all. Y'all deserve Alabama.
What
Congratulations. Do
one
it.
thing Harbaugh ain't gonna do is punk Saban. He ain't punking
Nope.
Saban.
He can't do
Dude,
it. He
good
can't. He
luck with
won't.
that. Good luck with that.
Saban don't mess with that nonsense. Like I said, I
Good
feel sorry for
luck
Florida State. Right in the end, I do
with
feel
that.
sorry for Florida State, man. But then again, it's their downfall in the first place. I think this year was supposed to be a 12-team playoff, but y'all fools didn't want to do it, from what I heard from
The
reports.
ACC commissioner didn't want to vote on moving it up a year early.
Well, you see what you see what you just did, ACC
And
commissioner, you just
now
cost your team a
there
playoff
was
spot.
rumor. There was rumors talking about FSU want to go and leave. Jump
Yep,
where? Where are they gonna go?
the Big Ten, from what I heard. I heard they're trying to go to the Big Ten because the SEC don't want them. Because the SEC wants Miami and who was the other one they said? Miami and Virginia. Is that what I read?
Big Ten wouldn't fit the
No,
academic
Big Ten
profile.
don't fit at all.
Big Ten doesn't fit. Florida fits.
Yep.
Miami ironically fits academically. Big Ten don't fit. Don't
Ah,
fit.
okay, cool. Yeah, because from what I heard, the SEC is trying to get Virginia and oh no, it was in Miami. It was Virginia and North Carolina. No, you said North Carolina State. One of those two. That's what they're trying to get.
So the Big Ten, if they was going to expand and take
Mm-hmm.
ACC teams, the two teams that made sense academically, because they're all
Miami
about
State.
academics,
Yeah.
is
I know they're by
Virginia.
academics. Yep.
So you have what they call the AAU, American Association of Universities, which is your
Got
top flight research level schools. There's only
it.
like like 68, 70 of them. There's only so many.
Okay.
So of the ACC schools, the five that fit the profile is Wake Forest, which they're not
Mm-hmm.
taking them. That's
They're not
like
taking
taking
them.
Vanderbilt. That's like taking Vanderbilt. Wake Forest, UVA, North Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
Duke,
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Tech, and Miami.
Okay.
And Miami just got on the list. Just got on the list.
Okay.
So to take North Carolina without taking Duke, I don't see one
No.
leaving without the other. Nobody
No.
cares about Wake Forest. I
You
could
got
see
that
you
right.
getting Virginia, which Virginia would give Maryland a natural rival.
Agree.
Um, Georgia Tech would have been interesting from this standpoint. Major hub to get in and out of with Delta.
True.
Um, also because you also got Indianapolis, Chicago with that's what United.
Yep.
So you see what I'm saying? It's giving you areas that you can get. Also, if I'm not mistaken, Atlanta was in the top five when you look at the Big Ten alumni, like
Uh-huh.
cities that are not in their geographic area right now.
You're
Like
correct.
Atlanta was
Yep.
like number three,
You're correct.
excuse me, of like Big Ten grads.
You're exactly
It was
correct.
number five, but then once they got Rutgers and Rutgers give them the New York market, that
Yep.
kind of took them out of the list. Um, so they're like number three. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, so Atlanta would have given, which would have been interesting, and they would have went and got
Georgia
Georgia
Tech makes
Tech.
sense. Academic wise, Georgia Tech makes a lot of sense, like you said,
Well,
because of that Atlanta market, as you said. So that makes sense. I can see that.
what
I can see Virginia too, because like you said,
Virginia
Maryland has a
would
rival
be,
in Virginia, so I can see that.
Virginia would get, and this is where I would do the haircut thing, like what I don't know if I would go as crazy as SMU did,
Nah,
going 7 years, 10 years, 7 years without taking
7 years,
any of the money
something like
just to
that.
get in. Oh
Correct.
no!
I
This,
think
but
that
this
that's
would have
correct.
been the school I would have took a haircut. Um, that would have been the haircut I would have took would be North Carolina State,
Raleigh.
NC State, because NC
Okay,
State can play the same card as Texas A&M, which
true.
is
That's a good point. True
which
enough.
is we can offer something that nobody else in the state can offer. Even though, see, the problem with NC State is NC State academically doesn't fit the Big Ten profile. The other three
Oh,
Tobacco Rose schools do. But I can
oh,
see, but see, their precedent's been set because they did it with Nebraska. And the
mm-hmm,
presidents wasn't exactly happy about that. But I
mm,
can see, like I said again, I can see them push come to shove, like they would do a deal similar to what SMU would do. We'll do whatever we got to do to get in. Um, because Duke ain't going without North Carolina. One is not
facts,
going without one is not going without the other. Them two
facts.
is going to be tied at the hip.
Yep,
So
it's just
what?
like Arizona, Arizona State. You know,
Yeah,
Arizona can't go without Arizona State. I mean, when it came to the Big 12.
I
Well,
mean
I mean,
Oklahoma.
when it comes to their thing, the Oklahoma State thing is kind of complex. I will admit that.
I'm like, dude.
The thing is, the SEC wanted Texas, as we all know. We already knew the SEC wanted Texas. So that part we already knew. The thing that was interesting is, will Texas give up their Longhorn network though? That's the thing I want to
The
find.
Longhorn Network thing is dead. Is dying on the vine because they are ESPN realizes just an albatross because the original agreement. Oh god, I'm trying to make sure it was 15 years.
Hmm.
It was 15 years for 20 million a year, so that ended up being the $300 million deal,
Yep.
and they cannot wait to get rid of it.
Yep.
It's just an albatross.
Yep.
So um what year did they start the Longhorn Network? Oh God, was that
I want to say it was like
2011?
I want to say it's like 3 or 4 years ago is what I want to say.
No, Longhorn Network started way before that. I want to say because I took my supervisor, my department head, and my supervisor to
Uh-huh.
convention, and in convention, Chris Polanski, who was either she was the head athletic director or the assistant athletic director at Texas, who was in charge of it, and a personal friend of my department head, and she
That's been
did,
10 years ago.
and they had. She was the keynote speaker on the last day, and that whole thing was about the Longhorn Network because everybody was like, the fact that this ain't a conference thing. It was just yes, the Longhorn Network. So
10 years ago, maybe.
uh,
It might be
I
around
want
10
to
or
say
11.
2011. I want to say
2011.
let me see.
Boy,
Which
12
one is
years.
founded in 2011? Yep.
Wow, 12 years. Good lord. Okay. So you
So
was right.
there's three more. Network was launched August 26, 2011. Yeah, because see, our convention was in June. The last part of May, first part of June. The Longhorn Network was coming online that fall. So,
Right.
time for the 2011-2012 season. That's what I remember that very, very vividly. So, which means for the 15 years to be up, which would be 2026. So,
Gotcha.
it's 2023. They literally have less than 3 years left on this deal. And then the fact that they were able to move into the SEC early, because they would have had
Mm,
like less than 2 years. And with networks, and one thing is I learned dealing with networks, when you get into the last 2 years of a deal, it's almost throwaway because you start
gotcha.
negotiating the network deal
Mm,
inside the last 2 years. Once you hit the 2 year mark, that's when you start negotiating the next deal. In the case of
okay.
Texas, they're leaving, they're going to the so either it's just going to languish and they're just going to continue to do what they do, which is the Texas size content, or in my personal opinion, it should be SEC 3. Just make it SEC 3 and you're good.
Makes sense.
If there's anything to,
It
if
makes a lot
there's
of sense to make
anything
it SEC 3.
if
Might as
it's
well.
anything if it's anything to run on SEC 3.
Might as well, right? Might as well. Can't
Mike
hurt.
Mike sent a message talking about he gonna check in at 10 p.m. Central. LOL. Yeah, so
Okay. Tell them.
I just
Okay, fine.
know, th- please don't let her be on the West Coast. And it's like,
Oh,
I'll be asleep. I won't make it.
hold up, let me look. I'll tell you in a minute. I got check. I might have to check that session girls thing with her, or does she even have session girls? Anybody know?
I
Since
don't
she's
know.
a session, hold up. Let me go. You know what? Let me just check Google real quick. I'm not gonna waste my time with that one. I'll get back to you in a minute.
So, but yeah. So it just
Is her last name L? Is it L A or Lu?
is Lu apostrophe RUE,
Okay, I'm just checking because I want to make sure I'm spelling this
or at
name
least
right.
that's the name, or at least that's the name, stage name. I don't know if that's the government. You know how it is. It's the business. So yeah, you're not using. Most people are not using the government name. They're using whatever stage name they want to use. So
Yeah,
which is
good
which
point.
is good good.
True enough. That's a good point. I don't know. Okay, let me do this real quick. Let me do this real quick. Wrong one. Why? When you want stuff like this and this stupid thing does not help you, you might be right. I don't know yet. Hmm, this is not exactly what I was looking for, but we'll move. Hmm.
So I was sitting up here talking. I accidentally muted myself.
You did what?
I said I was up here talking. I unmuted myself. I said I'm not opposed to taking a break because you talking about another. Um, well, the APB has been sent out. Mike said I
That will
put the
work.
request for R. Kennedy. He's like, heck, jump on now. And Reagan said
Heck
I'm
yes,
watching.
please,
Reagan
please,
said Reagan said
please.
I'm watching. I text her for y'all. Thank you,
Oh, good.
Reagan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Reagan.
Thank you. This, yeah, that's your girl. Y'all, you come on, man. I
Yeah.
like I like
So
how you put the APV out for that.
yeah.
Facts.
So
You
it,
say you want to take a break. We might as well. This is gonna be a minute.
well, I mean, they just sent these tweets, so it may be a thing of like I said, I could wait a few more minutes. It just again, we've had this happen before. I know Jaden Daniels, LSU guy, won the Heisman. Happy about that. Always
Oh yeah,
happy
he's
because
yeah.
I love him.
Everybody's like, why did he win a Heisman Trophy on a 3-loss team? Because he was the best player in the college football this year. That's why. It's not his fault
Right,
that LSU lost 3 games,
right.
right? He's the best player in the thing. As much as I like Michael Penix, who got second, I'm happy he got second because Washington was undefeated, so he deserved to get some recognition. The Oregon quarterback was third. I don't have a problem with that. He was good too. So I don't have a problem with him getting third. I talk about Oregon's quarterback. I don't got a problem with that. That don't bother me.
Bo Nix,
Bo Nix,
Auburn guy. he
ex
always be an
Auburn,
Auburn guy to me.
Auburn. Yep. But anyways, like I said, so Jalen Daniels winning it does not bother me at all. Good for him.
Hey, phew.
But the question is going to be: will he actually play in this bowl game against Wisconsin? Like everybody's dropping like flies.
Who are they
If you haven't
playing?
noticed, Wisconsin and then Requelia, sorry, Requelia. It's Reli Quest Bowl, the one in Tampa.
Well, Quest.
Yeah, Reliant Quest, the one that used to be the Outback Bowl. That one.
Oh, that's what they changed the name.
Yeah,
Dude, some of
Requelia
these
Quest.
bowls, I messed around. I didn't know there was a bowl in Orlando called the Pop Tarts Bowl. I was like, okay,
Oh,
well,
that's new. That's new this year, my guy. New this year.
uh.
New this year. Some of these names are new this year.
So I said, so what happens? Do you get hit with Pop Tart? What the winner? Or is it like the Duke Mayo Bowl where the coach get doused in mayo? That's kind of cool.
Oh, that is kind of cool.
You
Kind of
know,
weird too, but kind of cool.
but you got to get,
That is.
it's you got to make it fun some kind of way. You got to make something to stand out. I
I
know
like that.
the
You're funny.
what was
Get
the
hit with
one with
Pop
the
Tarts.
Idaho potatoes? You get doused with
Oh,
fries.
yeah, the famous. Sorry, the
Idaho
Idaho
potatoes.
famous Idaho potato bowl. That's the one you're
Right.
talking
The
about.
winter coach
That's
get
the one
doused with
where
fries
they douse you with fries. Exactly.
instead of cooler because it's cold up there. You don't want to get hit with nothing cold.
No, it's
At
cold
least
up in
warm.
Idaho.
At least let it be. Well, I don't know. Them fries might have been sitting out for a minute. So,
Dude, we're talking about Boise, Idaho, man. I don't know. I don't know how cold, how much heat you can use for that one.
um, yeah.
And then, of course, you have the Cheez It Bowl, the one in Arizona. Oh, sorry, that's Orlando. My bad. That's funny. Instead of
Yeah.
instead of getting doused with Gatorade, you get doused with cheese. You get
You
a
get doused with
Gatorade full
cheeses.
of cheeses. Hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, to
So,
answer your question, I guess the answer to your question is you get a Gatorade a bucket and fill it with Pop Tarts and throw it on the coach's head. I guess that's all I can think of.
Pop Tarts can have some weight to it though.
True.
I'm five because them things are 5 gallons, man. 5 gallons of Pop Tarts landing on your
True.
head, you might can mess around and get a concussion.
Yeah, that's a good point. This is true.
What you don't want to happen is, oh my God, which coach was it? Was it the coach from Boston College?
Yeah. You talk about the ice something challenge, the ice
No,
bucket challenge.
no. 1 year for the Duke Mayo Bowl. Because
Yep.
what you do is you have the coach will sit in the chair, and they'll get like maybe two captains or two seniors or whatever. They'll have the
Yep.
bucket of mayo, and it's always like a Gatorade bucket, right?
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
fill it up with mayo. Remember,
Yep.
these buckets are 5 gallons. So you talking about
God
5 gallons of mayo is not light,
damn. Oh, it is
not light
not.
at all.
It is
So
not.
normally they get linemen, they never get nobody scrawny. You got to get a
No.
lineman or
They get the
somebody that
big
got some
boys.
right, because they have to pick it up and dump it over his head.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this particular year, I guess who on one of the ends of they miss I guess misjudged how heavy the thing was going to be, and so the
Yeah.
bottom of the bucket hit against the coach's neck.
Oh.
And yeah, almost gave him a concussion because
Oh.
he didn't pick it up and dump it over. He picking it like
Oh.
slump. I was like
Oh. Oh. Oh.
amateurs. And coach looked back like you only had one job, son.
And you felt the one job. You only got one job. What are you doing?
Yeah, so that's why I said
You
it
almost
was
gave it
just
to concussion.
right. Almost like literally almost.
Oh,
I want to say it was Boston. Was it Boston College or Temple? I
I think
want
you're
to say it was
right.
like Boston College. Anyway, I just remember Coach almost caught a concussion, and it was just
Oh.
I was just like,
Oh. Yep. Yep. I can see that reaction. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So yep. So what else we got?
You know
But yeah,
what? Everything we said. You know what the funny part is? I know our fans don't want it, but everything we said we were gonna do in the thing, we might as well fill space. This, like I told you, this was gonna be a minute. You're right. This might have to be a two-part thing, like you said.
because at
Might
this
have to.
point, because
Trying to,
if
I'm
she's
trying to give
thinking
her a
it is
chance.
right, but you're talking about 25 more minutes, and I'm like, I don't know if I got 25 more minutes. But what was that one time when we was about to get off, and then they literally we're doing the closing credits, and they popped. I was like, oh,
Oh,
yeah,
Tilly,
that
Tilly,
was silly. Okay,
that was Tilly. We were about to close up shop. We like, because if you remember right, it was the day where she was doing it in her house, and it was windy as a mug, and the hammock was flying, and the rain, and all this other stuff. We were about to like, okay, and then she had to jump off because she had an internet connection. So we were like, okay, let's close the show. As soon as we were about to close the show, boop, yeah, people don't understand. The story behind that one was interesting because not only did we get the show done, we ended up getting an extensive sidebar too. I mean,
well,
literally,
yeah, that was pretty fun.
literally had an extensive sidebar. Man, we talk about everything and anything
Well,
at that time.
And this, so at this point, I'm like, when Lynn comes on, when she's done, do the sidebar. I would say for Mike and Reagan, they can come on since they was their part. See, this is when you have producers, this would be their job. Where's the
Correct.
talent? And we
Exactly.
just go. There's like
You know what?
seven.
I'm not opposed at all to having Mike and Reagan come on. Well, come on. It's a sidebar. I'm not
I
opposed
mean, this well,
at
it's
all.
not the sidebar yet,
I
So
know. I'm just saying.
yeah.
Since Mike says he wants to come in at 10, and this is almost 10. It's almost 10 my time.
Well,
25
you're
more
just talking
minutes. It
about
will be
coming
10.
back to watch. So
He might as well come to the sidebar. There's might be nothing to watch at this point. Let's keep it real, right?
yeah.
Let's keep it professional.
Like people are not tuning in to see us.
I
They
know they're
say
not tuning in to see us.
our hard hitting questions. Um,
You're right. They're
but
not. They're definitely not here to see us. But we
but
can't
at least
control.
our fans know what questions they already should know the five we're gonna ask off the rep. There's
Yeah,
five between me and you. They know we
y'all
ask
should
off
know
the
by
rep.
now.
We ask off the rep. So,
And
huh.
guys, if you've been watching our show for like almost 3 years, you should know by now what kind of
Yeah,
questions we're going to
we're
ask.
gonna
It's
ask.
very obvious.
Yeah. So everything else I can think of off the top of my head, I really want to talk about is stuff that I want to save for Christmas for the Christmas show. But
Mm,
but
mm.
I will say I never did get to finish my take on Alabama. I felt like
Go ahead.
Florida State.
We're still
Flor-
talking. Go ahead.
oh God, who was it on one of the ESPN guys? I
Which
think it was
one? Are you
Joey
talking about
Galloway.
Floyd
It was like
Galloway?
one
Yeah,
of the
Brooklyn McCollum.
I think this was like one of the SEC shows. Off shows.
You talk about Chris Doring and all these other SEC people,
One of them, which
Dory Noka and all these other people.
who have no dog in the hunt. Because
Yep,
again, you're talking about leaving it. They made a good point. The guy made a good point. He made two good points. He said the first thing I would have did, if you know that it's going to be an issue, they said we knew off the rip that he wasn't coming back for the rest of the season.
exactly.
So I would have left them at 5 and never brought them up. Because remember, they got
Correct.
brought up when was it Oregon lost? Or not Oregon lost. No, somebody lost. When
Ohio
the
State.
Michigan
Ohio
Ohio State
State.
game. He said
Ohio
I
State.
wouldn't have brought him up. He said
Ohio State. Ohio
because
State.
if you bring them in and you drop them, you see what I'm saying? He said if you
Yeah,
know
they.
there's going to be an
Yeah,
issue, you should have left them where they was. Yes, folks would, but the outrage he believed would not have been as bad because it's more of an outrage to get kicked out and you won the game versus getting kicked out because you lost.
correct.
Georgia
Correct.
has no ground to stand on because why? You knew going in, you lose this game, chances
You're
are
done.
you out. That
You're
was
out.
pretty much kind of a foregone conclusion. It doesn't matter if you two-time defending champion. It doesn't matter if you won 29 states. Well, I argue you one of the four best teams. Yes, but I will argue that for Ohio
Yes,
State as well. But
me
my
too.
thing is, you lose, you're out. There's no ifs, ands, or
Agree.
buts because
Agree.
you
And
got
anyway,
too many teams with perfect records and too many of those. Because I had said for years, if you have 5 conference champions all undefeated, who's getting left out?
correct. Correct.
So I mean, this was about the closest we got to that
Facts.
because it's like then some because then it's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess because the way the committee would have looked at, it, let's say Georgia would have won, which would have kept
Yep.
Alabama out, which would have kept Texas out. I could
Yep.
still see it. Washington was the 3 seed. That would have
Mhm.
been the only out to keep. And then if that's the case, and then you want to move Florida State up, then fine. I would have had no issues with that.
Nah.
But don't do no. Because the fact of the matter, you had a team from 8 get all the way in, you had a team from 1 get all the way out, and
Yep.
you, and you had an undefeated. So that's a 3-card molly. What are we doing? No.
Exactly right. You're exactly right. The committee flat out messed up the whole thing. Like you said it yourself. If Florida State, if you like I said, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with you with the rule saying players get hurt and all that stuff. It's just foolish. My opinion. When players get injured, you can't penalize a team because a player gets injured. These things happen. Yeah, what do you want them to do? They did what they did. They did their job. Florida State did their job. They won all the games that was in front of them. This is why I'm going happy that next year, they're going to have the playoffs. We don't have to
Now,
live in the hands of these committee people. We actually see it on the field for ourselves next
now,
year. Thank God.
this is what Texas get in. 'Cause
I don't have a problem with Texas getting in. They deserve to
now,
be in my opinion.
now, let me ask you this. I think if Texas would have lost, I mean they ran roughshod.
They're
If
out. They're
Texas,
completely out.
right, they're out, but is Alabama now out?
I don't think Alabama's out. I still do not feel Alabama's out. I do not.
I believe if Texas didn't win, I think Alabama's out. I
I,
don't think Alabama gets in.
even if they beat Georgia? Interesting.
I think they don't get in
Interesting.
because part of the strength of Alabama was Texas. The fact that they can say one team they played was Texas, who was a Power Five champ.
That's true.
If
True.
Texas is not a Power Five champ, that ground gets now more shaky because Texas would have had two losses.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying?
I hear what you say.
Texas now would not have been a Power Five champ, which would have opened the door for either Ohio State, who could say, "Well, our only loss was to a Michigan on the road." Because see, the
Yep.
only way Ohio State was going to get in, it was clear and simple. They needed Florida State to lose.
And Texas will lose.
They needed Florida State to lose. They needed Texas to lose. They needed Georgia to win,
True. Yep.
and they needed Washington to win.
Yep.
Because then that would have gave the Ducks two losses. It would have gave Texas two losses. It would have
Losses.
gave Alabama two losses.
Losses.
You see what I'm saying? Then you would have
Yep.
had Georgia, Washington, Michigan,
Ohio
and
State.
then they could have Ohio State jumped and leapfrog. Because if all of them had lost and Florida State had won, Florida State's getting in over Ohio State because they would have been a
Yep.
conference champion. Ohio
Yep.
State, the only way Ohio State was going to get in, they needed four
Yep.
things to happen, and two of them happened. As a matter of
Happened.
fact, if you was Ohio State fan, because the few I know was feeling good because the fact that Washington won Friday night, hey,
Yep.
we love that. Then to see, what was the next thing I said that had to
Georgia
happen?
lost. Georgia lost to Alabama.
No. They needed Georgia to win
Oh, okay.
because that would have gave Alabama two losses. See, they're trying to make sure everybody that had one loss has two, and they're the only one that has one.
So the only thing that went right for them was Washington winning. Everything else did not go right.
Yeah, because they needed Texas to lose, they needed Georgia to win, and they needed Florida State to lose. So going
Yep.
into Saturday, they could have been feeling. They said if we get these three breaks, we're in.
We're in.
We've been the only one loss team left, and we're in. They have to take us.
That would be
That was
correct.
the only way they was gonna get in. But Florida State, and I think for the committee would have gotten out, could have gotten out because if you had gave me, even if basically what the committee needed was Georgia to win. Georgia to
Yep.
win would have solidified the SEC in,
Yep.
and it would have kept, in my personal opinion, Florida. Let's say everything else stays the same, but you change that one thing.
Yep.
I don't think Texas makes it
Mm.
because you would have had Alabama with two losses,
Yep.
and Texas' best win would have been over an SEC champ. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Which would have pulled Texas down with them.
Correct.
Excuse me. So, because there's no way you're gonna put in Alabama and not put in Texas, they have to leapfrog them both.
True.
So that's what I'm saying. Alabama, I think Georgia winning hurt more for Florida State.
You mean Georgia losing, not winning?
Georgia losing, yeah. Georgia losing hurt more for
Florida
Florida
State.
State than how well or how bad Florida State played. Now some people say, well, come on. How many people with their third string quarterback? Now what happened with Cardell Jones was a once in a lifetime thing. But what
Correct.
ended up happening? is what you would have normally seen. Now, there's nobody can't say that they couldn't have got the Tate Roddenberry kid back,
Yep. Exactly.
and then maybe that would have been a better Florida State team than the. Now, their defense was good enough to pitch a shutout if they had to.
Yep. Their defense was fantastic. They held to 2 field goals. What else can you
Right, the
do?
defense can do if that's what you have to do, and
Yep.
but you would have gave them time to prep it and just hey, now they get into the best versus most deserving because I won't argue Georgia is one of the 4 best teams, best of the
Agree. I
best
agree.
of the
If
league.
we talk about the best
But
team,
you
Georgia
just
should be in the
knew
should be in the in
you
the in
had,
the thing.
but
That's
you
right.
did, but in the same thing with Ohio State, you had a
Nope.
chance to make your case, and
You
I
didn't
think
do
this
it.
is why so many people are up in arms about the Florida State thing and why they're saying, well, why the Florida we playing, we keep it score because the whole thing, the narrative has always been drilled for years is you win your league, you should be in, but I've always felt the fallacy in that is if you got power five teams and you only got 4 slots, if you got 5 undefeated Power Five teams, then
Mm.
somebody's getting left out. There's going to be an undefeated Power Five champion. What
Yep.
happens when that day happens?
We almost had that.
Right, because Michigan, Power Five champ, undefeated. Washington,
Yep.
Power Five champ,
Not to have
undefeated.
undefeated.
Texas is a one-loss champ.
Yep. Florida
Alabama's
State
one that champ.
undefeated.
Now, Florida. Now, if you would have told me Florida State, okay, this would have been me. I could live with, even though I knew Alabama was going to get in, they're not leaving. They're not like there would have been some senator. They would have seceded from the union. They would have tried again to secede from the union, and Alabama's not getting in. With
Yep.
Saban, I think if it,
Yep.
and then this is where I think even Kirby Smart. I think if it was anybody but Alabama, if this was Auburn, if this was which had a crack to beat both Georgia and
Alabama.
Alabama, and they couldn't finish the
Do
job.
it. Yep.
This could have been Ole Miss. It could have been Texas A&M with Jimbo because we've seen it.
True.
I think it was anybody else.
They're not getting in.
They're not getting in. I think it's with the Saban thing. As a,
It's a
well,
Saban thing.
it's Alabama, and then well, then in that case, then you should have said Georgia. Georgia 2 times to finish champion. They only lost 1 game, 29 games.
Preach.
But
Preach.
because he's not Saban, I think
Preach.
part of it is Saban because it's Saban. You don't. Do you want to literally have to go down to Tuscaloosa and say, or Saban come to you and you have to explain to them why you? No, I don't want them problems.
Nah. Nah.
I don't want them problems. That's the first thing. Second, not Saban. Second thing, I think part of it is because of the way it ended up with Michigan now being a 1 seed, which means
Yep.
now from a matchup standpoint, okay, fine. Your penalty, like you said, how they look, the look on their face when they realize they got
Oof.
to play Alabama. Now,
Oof.
fine, you get Alabama. You want to be in, you want to be number one, that's fine. You get Alabama though. We ain't gonna make it easy for you. So
Nope.
now you know we up the creek now. We up the creek.
Preach. Yep.
Now is Alabama now more different than the game they lost against Georgia? Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, against
Texas.
Texas. Yes.
Oh,
They,
they
they,
way better. They way better since
they're
that
way,
that
because now
way
they know
better.
who the starting quarterback was. Was even then they
Yep.
were still on the rotation. They still didn't know who was the quarterback
Starting
between.
quarterback.
Yeah.
Now we
So
know. And
right.
now the whole
So
big question is gonna. And now the question is, can Michigan actually score enough points against Alabama's defense? We know their defense is decent, but can they actually score enough points? We all know Saban's defenses don't give up points. You know this, and they've been doing that for the last few weeks. Look at Georgia. Georgia had one of the best offenses in college football. They will score 24. That's how good their defense has been playing lately. Michigan's defense, don't get me wrong, Michigan's defense is good, but who have y'all actually played? You played Ohio State and gave up 24. I'll give you credit for that. But Ohio State's a team that likes to run the ball. Alabama is multiple. We'll see. Right? We'll see. They have enough time. Right? Everybody has a month. The game that's intriguing me the most is Washington and Texas. Now that's the one that's intriguing me more than that one.
I think that's gonna
That
be a
game right
track
there.
meet.
That one, I can see a lot of points in that game.
That's gonna be a track meet, and it's gonna be
And
in New
Louisiana.
Orleans.
And New Orleans.
Track meet. Track meet. Track meet.
I can see something like
Track meet.
37-34. I can see a 37-34
I'm
or
calling
41-37.
45. I'm calling 40, 45.
41.
No. 45-38.
Okay, I'll go ahead. I'll go and say 41-37. That's what I'm calling. We're pretty close.
Track meet.
Track meet.
Track meet.
Track meet.
Track meet. I don't think either team has got track meet.
Track
Track
meet.
meet. It's
Track
gonna
meet.
be indoors, perfect conditions. Track meet.
Like you said, Superdome.
Track
Like you
meet.
said, the Superdome, New Orleans,
Track
track
meet.
meet. Like you said, no weather, track meet. Definitely. The other one, Rose Bowl, that might be a little different story. Yeah, but what was your if they started 12-team playoff? I made a list of my 12-team playoff situation I had.
Okay. Who do you
Number
have?
one, I don't have Michigan number one. I had Washington number one. The reason why I had Washington number one because they beat all the people in the Pac-12. In my opinion, I feel the Pac-12 was the best conference in America this year. My opinion,
Okay.
because you beat Oregon twice, a ranked Oregon team twice. So I give you respect for that. You beat a ranked Oregon State team at the time, who was number 11. I talk about they Washington on the
Okay.
road. They beat. I know UCLA was. I know that USC was horrible at the time, but they were ranked
You
number
you
20. You go over there
you
and beat
you you
them.
you you ain't got to prove to me who. I just want to hear who's the 12.
The 12 was hard. It'll be my guys, but I don't see us. I don't know. It's
Who's
between
the 12?
Liberty. Dude, I struggle with the 12. 12 was hard. I
No, no,
struggle
no,
with 12.
no. Name me the 12 schools. I want to know who's the 12 schools.
Oh, Washington, Michigan, Texas, Alabama,
So those four would have
Ohio
had
State.
buys. Hold on before you go too fast. Those four would have had buys.
Okay,
Okay.
so Washington would have had a bye. Yes, Washington would have had a bye. Michigan, Texas, and
Alabama. I can live with that.
Alabama.
I can live with
Alabama.
that.
Those four.
Those four
Those
would
four
have
have
had
a bye.
buys. Okay, fine. All right. Who's the next group?
And then I have Georgia 5, Florida State 6,
Okay.
because again, we're going off of.
Understood.
I give Georgia the respect because they are
Understood.
two-time champions. So
Understood.
5-6. Ohio State is 7,
Okay.
and then 8 is who was 8? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Oh,
Ooh.
Oregon. My bad, Oregon.
Oregon. So which
Oregon State.
means 5, 6, 7, and 8 would have well
Yeah, they're hosting games in
they're hosted
their
with the host of the first round game. Yeah. Okay. All
Missouri
right.
is 9. Missouri is 9.
Missouri, Oregon would have been a good matchup. That would have been a good.
That's the first round matchup. Oregon
Okay.
versus Missouri.
Okay.
Number
10.
10, I'm trying to decide between Penn State and Ole Miss. Ew, they both lost two games. I'm trying to decide. One of them is going to be 10. The other is going to be 11.
So you would put them both in, and then
They're both
12,
in.
which means 12 has to be your group of 5 champion by automatic default.
Yeah. So the group of 5 champion will be SMU then, because they're the ones who beat Tulane. So it'll be them.
So
I
you
have them over Liberty.
even though Liberty was nationally ranked and Tulane was nationally ranked, the fact that you're gonna go with SMU over Tulane, over Liberty, even though
Yeah,
Liberty was undefeated.
yeah. Liberty is undefeated, but who did y'all play? I'm not trying to disrespect their record, but who did you actually play? You have the weakest strength of schedule, Liberty. Who did y'all actually play? At least SMU when they played
I,
somebody, they lost to OU and they lost to
but
someone else. They lost to good people.
I understand that, but then you'll have them same folks that be mad about Liberty will come after you and say the same thing about Florida State should have got a top 4 seed because it was an undefeated conference champion.
True, but the difference between Florida State and Liberty is Florida State at least played LSU. Who'd y'all play?
I'm just saying, man.
I know that's what they're saying.
But see,
But
this
my
is
argument, I hear you. But my argument is gonna be like, who did y'all play? Liberty. I'm not trying to disrespect your schedule, but who did y'all play? At least Florida State played.
This is where
At least Florida State played LSU and
but
Clemson.
this
They
is
can
where
just
the
play them.
sword this is where the sword swings the other way, Clem. As someone who's been at the smaller schools, the bigger schools don't want to play you because they know one, they can't take the hit, and especially in football, they will make more playing another Power 5 non-conference.
That's a good point.
Than it was. So, Liberty been knocking down doors ever since they beat Baylor. In Baylor, they ain't been able to even get a shot because nobody wants to play them non-conference anymore.
True.
They came up there and did that and upset Baylor. Baylor ain't been the same since. Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
You see what I'm saying? All you got to
Yeah.
do is be that one thing. Dude, App State couldn't schedule a Power 5 team for years after they lost to Michigan. That wasn't already on the books.
Yep.
That,
Oh yeah, but okay. For the sake of argument, let's put in Liberty. They gotta go play. They gotta play
you got to
Georgia.
play
They're not winning
whoever
that game,
you. Right, which is fine. They get Georgia.
and they're not winning that game. I'm sorry, Liberty. I'm sorry. Your Cinderella story is over. You're not winning in Athens. But here's what I have. So I got Georgia beating Liberty. Who did I have six? Florida State and okay. Let's just say for the record, Florida State's playing. Let's say Florida State's playing. I'll go ahead and put Ole Miss at 11. I'll put Penn State at 10. So let's say we got Florida State versus Ole Miss. I don't like Florida State's chances with their quarterback. I'm not trying to say Tate Rodemaker is terrible, but I do not like their
You know
chances.
they ain't gonna score points.
That's my point. That's the
Keep up.
thing. I got Ole Miss in an upset because I don't think Florida State will score enough points,
Right.
right? Because we all know Lane scores points.
Lane's gonna score points.
So I got Ole Miss with the upset. I got rematch between Ohio State and Penn State. Rematch again at Columbus. Ohio State, I can't trust Penn State. Penn State has proven to me they can't beat Ohio State or Michigan. So
You know
until I
what?
see that,
You know
I
what?
don't trust them.
Let's humor me for the sake of this argument. Switch to 2. Switch 10 and 11. Humor me that.
Okay, so we got Florida State versus Penn State.
Yes, Florida State, Penn State. I think Florida State might have a legit chance to win.
Florida State might actually win that game. I'm not
Florida
going to
State
lie to
might
you.
actually could win that game.
Florida State might actually win that game against Penn
Now,
State.
Ohio State versus Ole Miss.
Woo-hoo.
You know, from Ole Miss ain't gonna be able to stop a cold, but
That's true.
but Ohio State, that defense will be tested. Because Ole Miss gonna score points, and Lane don't do nothing else. Even Saban understand that. If Lane don't do nothing else, Lane gonna score points.
And then I think Ohio State will win because of home field advantage. Just because.
Just because I'm barely good, but best believe Ohio State will make it interesting.
Ole Miss will make it very interesting. Ole Miss will score points. Ohio State's defense, Ohio State gave up 30 points to Michigan. I think Ole Miss can at least score 31, at least, without
I'm going
offense.
to say Florida State wins against Penn State for this reason.
Yeah, I got Florida State beating Penn State.
Rodemaker would have been back.
Correct.
Rodemaker would have been back.
Correct.
And the game is at Florida State. So.
Yep.
But they only win by like a field goal. Both of these games is field goal games. It's just that I think the Florida State Penn State game would be like nobody's getting more than 21 points. Nobody's getting to 21.
You know what? I see a game where it's 20 to 13 or 20 to 16. I don't see many points in that game.
Something like that. Yeah. Nobody's getting 21.
Now the other game, Ohio State, different story.
Yeah, different story. 35. People will score. They're getting to 35. Somebody getting to 35.
35-31?
That is it. Either see what Ole Miss is going to either be boom or bust. Either Ole Miss going to lose 35-31 or Ole Miss going to lose like 35-14. They couldn't even.
That's correct. That is correct.
It's going to be boom or bust.
All right, so my second round matchups, the quarterfinals are going to be in the BCS. I mean, what do they call it? College football one.
So everything's neutral field after that point.
Neutral field now. So Michigan is 1, and I have Oregon. beating Oregon versus Missouri.
You said you had Washington as 1. Remember? In your mind.
Oh yeah, I got Washington. Okay, my bad, Washington. But anyways, Oregon versus the best game is going to be Oregon versus Missouri. Now that is going to be a fantastic game in Oregon. I'm siding with Oregon, but Missouri is no slouches.
Right.
That's one of those games. That's one of those games
so
where
basically you're going chalk. So
for now I'm going for chalk. For now.
5, 6, 7, 8 will win all of those.
Yep. Okay, so I got Washington and Oregon in the Rose Bowl. I got to keep it there. It's West Coast. I got to keep it there. This is round 3 for them, by the way. For people who haven't know, Washington and Oregon are playing 3 times in my scenario.
Gotcha.
So
I can live with that.
Okay. Who's it? Michigan and Ohio State will be playing
again.
Yes, again.
Oh.
Yes, again. At least the first 2 they're gonna play again. The first 2 are gonna play at least 3 and 2 times. So I got Michigan and Ohio. Sorry, what did I say? Michigan and Ohio State again. And I think this one, I'll put this one in New Orleans. This one's gonna be in New Orleans. I'm doing it by geography. That's why I'm doing this one by.
I'll put them in Tostitos.
Oh, you're gonna put them in Arizona?
Yeah, I'll put them in Arizona.
Okay, that's fine. Let's put them in Verbo, not Tostitos, it's Verbo. I forgot they changed the damn name of it again. So the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. So you have those guys in Arizona. And then I got Texas. Who did I have? Texas and what did I say? Was it? Oh, Texas and Florida State. Ooh. New Orleans. That's not going to be in
New
Cotton Bowl.
Orleans.
I'm not putting Texas in Cotton Bowl. Sorry, guys. Y'all gonna have to go to New Orleans. Yeah,
Right.
you gotta go to New Orleans or you gotta go to Atlanta. Which one you want out of the two?
And then what's the other one? Orange.
The other
See,
one's
you
Orange
put in
Bowl.
Orange, then Florida State
I'm not
gets
putting
to go
Florida.
to.
I'm not putting Florida State there. I'm not giving people. I'm not giving lower seeds home field advantage.
I'll
So
give
I'm not
them.
doing that.
I'll give them New Orleans because you got the Panhandle. You got to remember they coming from Tallahassee, so you going
Correct.
straight on 10. So we'll we'll,
So
we'll,
I'm
we'll
giving
go
them.
with New
So
Orleans.
and I'm giving Texas. I'm not giving. And the reason I'm not giving Texas the Cotton Bowl because I don't want to give them anything advantage because Austin and
Right.
Dallas is not
They
that
get a
far away.
semifinal game. They get a semifinal game. So
Yeah, we'll get to the semifinals. We talk about that.
okay.
But who's the other one? And who did I have at 4? Who did I say was 4? Oh, Alabama. Alabama versus Georgia. Where we sending them at?
Only one place to go.
Orange Bowl?
No, you got to put them back in. You got to put them back in Atlanta.
Oh, the Peach Bowl. You know what? Why not? Why not?
You got to put them. Got to put them there. You either have to put them there or put them in. Well, who's hosting the national championship? Correction. Who's
Houston.
hosting? Houston.
Yeah, Houston.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
National championship is in Houston.
okay. So you got to put. Okay, let's put them in Atlanta just for S and giggles.
Okay, so put them in Atlanta.
Okay.
And people by far there's like
And then
two. There's two very.
the semifinal games will be Cotton Bowl, and
Yep,
then would be Orange Bowl, and then the national championship game would be in Houston.
be in Houston.
Right.
So yeah. So let's go. Let's see what the semifinals have. I have an upset in this one. I got Oregon beating Washington. No chalk. No chalk for that one.
Okay.
You know the saying. You know the saying. It's hard to beat a team 3 times.
Right. I got it.
So I got Oregon with the upset win. Alabama and Georgia. I got a mild upset. Georgia lost to Alabama right in the SEC championship game. They get their
So
revenge on
they get
Alabama.
the
They beat them.
revenge.
They get their
Okay.
revenge. We got two very good teams. It's hard to beat a good team twice with
Okay.
those two. So Georgia got that revenge. Who's the other one? Texas and Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
I got Texas. Sorry, Florida State.
So to say the end of the run is over.
The run is over. I got Texas. And then
And then,
and then Michigan Ohio State. Ooh.
and they won without hardball the first time.
I got Michigan still. Sorry, Ohio State.
I think Michigan is too good.
I still got Michigan, but it's gonna be the first game was 6 points. It's gonna be around about that one. Another game where I say it's gonna be 27-24, 30-24, something like that. Again. So the semifinals. So the semifinals we have Oregon and Georgia, and we said that one's going to be the Orange Bowl. We sent that one to the Orange Bowl, those two. Or you want to send them to Dallas? Your choice. So okay, so we're sending Oregon and Georgia to Dallas, and then we're sending Texas and Texas and what did I say? Texas and Michigan. Yeah, that's what it was. Texas and Michigan. We're sending them to the Cotton Bowl. Is that what you said?
No. We said Orange Bowl.
Oh, we're sending them to the Orange Bowl.
Because I want to be for Texas. If you're going to play in Houston, you got to make it to the finals.
I agree. So let's send them. So basically, we're sending Alabama.
Also, you know what? Really, they probably would end up in Cotton Bowl, and then they win in Dallas, and then they mess around.
No. Send them to Oregon. Send them to Orange Bowl. We're not. They have to earn that nonsense. No. They're going to Orange Bowl. Send them. So Texas and Michigan and Alabama. Sorry, not Alabama. Georgia and Oregon. Well,
Georgia.
Sorry, Oregon. Oregon scores points, but Oregon's defense is decent. But Georgia. Now the second one, Texas and Michigan. Oh boy, oh my, I got to think about this one. I actually got to think about this one.
This one's hard.
This one's hard. This is the hardest one of all of them.
Just the hardest one
by far. I surely respect Texas. I've seen them this year. I'm in the Big 12. I'm in Big 12 country, so I've seen them enough times this year to know what they're about. They got two big boys in the middle for defense. That sweat guy and the other dude. They got a good linebacker. Michigan's defense is just as good. Texas
Michigan's
offense,
offense,
Michigan's
Texas
offense
offense to me is better than Michigan's
is better
offense.
than Michigan.
I'm gonna go with Texas on the squeaker. They'll go to
Yeah,
win,
yeah, I'll
and
take
they go
Texas.
home. They
They
go
go home,
home. They go
and guess
home.
what? Yeah, and Texas, don't get too happy because when you get home, you get Georgia
You get Georgia and Houston,
and
which
Houston.
this is where if I'm the SEC, all bets are off. Yes, the Big 12 would get the actual title if Texas was a win, but the
Correct.
way I would look at it is with Texas
Coming to us next year.
because they're going to the SEC. Because they're going to the SEC, it's like you getting the leg up. So
Correct.
I think Georgia wins.
Me too.
I think Georgia wins.
And
It
get
won't
that.
be. It won't be. It won't be. It won't be like they win by. They probably win by 6.
Yeah, they went by a touchdown or less. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. So
I got 10:05 over here, man. Where I'm at.
yeah. Oh, he missed the punt. He
What game are
brought
you
us.
looking at
As the Titans
in the Dolphins?
Dolphins.
You ready to end the show, man?
Yeah, because I mean at this point,
We've been on for
yeah,
an hour and 16 minutes.
yeah, and then you got the fact that we're Reagan and Mike. Let me check my Twitter.
Yeah, check your stuff real quick.
Up
See what's
the
going on. What is going on, man?
no, there was Mike saying that he would come back on the 10.
Well, send Mike. Tell him come to the sidebar if he wants to come to the sidebar. It's
Yeah,
cool.
so
And
shout
you know
out.
what?
Shout out.
Invite Reagan too while you're at it.
Right,
Please,
we might do that, and then
invite her too.
if so, then we do a part 2. If not, then
It don't
all
matter,
right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to
gentlemen.
thank y'all for bearing with us. Like you
Sorry,
said,
guys.
this
Sorry
is
that
the
things didn't work out like intendedly planned.
this is the beauty of live production. You know,
Correct.
live production. Okay. So I am. Let's see. I am Carswell at X and IG.
And I am at C underscore Okufa on IG and Clem Okufa on X. With that being said, our next show is going to be, as everybody knows by now, live from the parts unknown, the 25th. For people who don't know, that's Christmas. So, but we will get in contact with you guys and we'll figure out what's going on. Second and fourth Mondays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Like we said, we'll see. We'll let y'all know if anything we have anything planned. Don't expect no
Right.
best of. There's not gonna be no best of anything.
We,
So
we're not going to do a
we're not
best
doing
of.
that.
We're not doing the best of. We will tell you that we're not going to do that. I've never been a fan of best of. I've never been a fan of it. It just
Ridiculous. With that being said, from the parts unknown, for your boy Kaiser, for your boy Clement Okufo, until next time, everyone. Peace. Have a good night, everyone.
all right.